Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. I am the Reverend Christine Dance, and I have the great honor of being the minister here. We welcome you to UUCP and our weekly worship service. For Earth Day, we have a change of venue at my house. Welcome to our backyard so we can all appreciate the nature. I invite you all to spend some time outside today as we contemplate the meaning of our natural world. And Karen and I are wearing our brand new UUCP Anywhere t-shirts. So you can get them, you can find the link on Facebook, and Katie will be putting a link on our screen. And we encourage you to get that too, because we can be UUs anywhere. Also feel free, many of you have been hashtagging UU Anywhere or UUCP Anywhere. That's been really fun. So welcome home. I invite you to grab a chalice or a candle from your home as we prepare to light our chalice together. As surely as we belong to this earth, we belong together. We join here to celebrate community, to reconnect to ourselves and to our earth. We know that we're at home here on earth, in this community and with each other. Our fates are connected to each other. Join me from home as we recite our covenant and light our chalice. And Karen will be lighting our chalice this morning. Love is the doctrine of this church, of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship. Thus do we covenant. We welcome you to our virtual service. You are able to chat with our panelists, and there will be a time later in the service where you can share your joys and sorrows with us, and we will read them out loud or hold them in our hearts. After service, we will be having a virtual coffee hour with breakout rooms. I hope you will join us. So now let me introduce our worship team. On piano, we have Mary Coda. There's Mary. Our Director of Children's Ministries is Katie Resendez. We have our worship associates back today, and our worship associate for today is Katie Quinn. And our music director, Benji Messer, has the week off, but has recorded some music and has some great music by some of our terrific musical congregants. Behind the scenes, we have our AV team, Carol Benwell, Justin Walgren, and Stephanie Bridal Vigil. Amy McClendon is our moderator. And of course, Karen and the dogs and cats are helping me out as well. Now I welcome our worship associate, Katie Quinn.
Good morning. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, focused on diverse theological perspectives, radical inclusion, and knowing that issues of justice and equity shape everything we do. With a special awareness for those who have been historically marginalized, we welcome all, of every race, class, ethnicity, immigration status, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious background, mental and physical ability and disability. We welcome you, your whole self, your family. We welcome you. Especially in times like these, we seek to build a community of kindness, caring, courage, and hope. So for a few announcements, we have a bunch of community programming this week. The conversation on death and dying was very well received last week, so we're going to start a death cafe, which is something that's sort of a worldwide movement. This Thursday at noon, we'll grab food, coffee, and talk about our society's perceptions of death. On Thursday evening for community night, we are having a pity party. So many of us have been strong, said that there are other people who have it worse, and more along those lines. But for 1 hour on Thursday, we get to name what we feel bad about. Missing vacations, family, activities, and it'll be okay to have that moment to name it. And then we'll pick ourselves back up and move on with our lives with the best outlook we can possibly have. We have tons of children programming as well. For your security and privacy, our Zoom meetings all have unique numbers and passwords. You can find a complete list of programming on our weekly e-newsletter, Compass. You can sign up for Compass on our website. And if you have any problems getting Compass, please email compass@phoenixuu.org to get a copy. Also, we want to make worship and these programs as accessible as possible for everyone. If you know anyone who can't get on Zoom for any reason, they can access our Zoom help desk at UUCP Zoom support@phoenixuu.org. Today is Earth Day, and so at 12:30 today, the Earth Justice team is meeting. And tonight at 6 p.m., the Unitarian Universalist Ministry for Earth are presenting a live streaming of the Condor and the Eagle. Both of these items are listed in Compass. And finally, our Unicare team is creating a soup brigade. We are planning to help congregants if and when they get sick. We're asking you while you are all home to make soup and freeze it. Then, if people get sick, we'll have food ready and we'll coordinate how to get food from those who have it frozen to those who need it. Sign up to make soup on the link in Compass. And now we get to hear from Benji via video for our hymn.
Good morning, everyone. Because it's almost Earth Day, let's sing Blue Boat Home. Feel free to sing along with me wherever you are, or just listen. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Thanks, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Katie Resendez, and I'm the Director of Children's Ministry at UUC Phoenix. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, everyone cozy up. I have a story for you today. Let's start here. When Adrian was about 7 years old, their grandfather said that they were going to take the entire family on a huge trip. And it wasn't a trip like Adrian had ever been on before, or for that matter, no one in the family, not Grandpa, not Mama, not Adrian's two older brothers, had ever been on a trip like this. And so Adrian was kind of stuck for how to prepare. And at night, they would lay in bed and make a packing list. And luckily, Adrian's grandfather had taught Adrian a very important lesson. You never need more than 5 pairs of chonies. So Adrian knew where to start the packing list. 5 pairs of underwear, a good pair of jeans, some nice shirts, socks, a hat, a coat in case it gets cold, galoshes in case it rains, a rain slicker, a comfy blanket. That list got so long. And it wasn't just clothing on it. It was also things like favorite books, a journal and a pen, a stuffed animal in case Adrian needed comfort, tools, favorite water bottle. There was so much stuff on that list. In fact, there was so much stuff that the morning that they were ready to go, Grandpa and Mama looked at Adrian and said, "Oh, hon, that backpack looks really heavy. Are you sure you can carry it?" And Adrian felt those straps weigh down on their 7-year-old shoulders and said, "Yeah, it is really heavy, but I got this. I can carry it. It'll be hard, but I can do it." And the first few days were really hard. The bag was really heavy. And then something really neat happened. It rained. And Adrian felt the rain splash down on their skin, smelled the mud mixing up, and watched that dirt and water start to blend into goo. And suddenly, those galoshes buried at the bottom of that bag didn't seem so important or enticing. And so instead of digging them out, Adrian took off sneakers and let toes squish through mud. And it felt wonderful. After the rain stopped, Adrian did dig out the galoshes and the rain slicker and pass them on to someone because they didn't feel like they were going to use them. So it was better to hand it off to someone who would. As they walked, Adrian got rid of more and more things. And it wasn't only Adrian. Mama had bought this yellow blouse that everyone had said she looked so lovely in, but it was scratchy and it didn't fit right, and she didn't really like it. So after 2 weeks on their adventure of never taking it out of her bag, she took it out and handed it off to someone else who said they loved it very much. It wasn't just things they got rid of, they also got rid of ideas. Adrian's oldest brother was a tough guy, but after hiking for a bit, his hands started to get dry and cracked, and all of that washing was wreaking havoc. So he asked Mama if he could borrow some lotion, even though a guy like him would never use lotion. What he found out was it made his hands not just soft and wonderful, but it also made them smell like lavender, and he found out he loved the smell of lavender. As they traveled, all their bags got lighter and lighter. They had more space, and not just for things, but for memories. And they were able to let go of what didn't work for them. They were able to say goodbye to the things that they had held on to so tightly, and let their bags get lighter and lighter. And that weight on Adrian's 7-year-old shoulders lifted. And in fact, it was that space that it created that made Adrian brave to go on to the next adventure, and the next, and the next, and the next. I hope you all are feeling ready to create room, figuring out what fits and doesn't fit, what you've held on to that works and what doesn't. And even those things that feel silly. Maybe it's your favorite purple water bottle. If it's what keeps you going right now, hold on to that tight. But make sure that you're not grasping too closely to the things that don't work, and especially not to the things that never did. I hope your bag is getting lighter. I love you lots. Have a wonderful week.
So now with some thoughts on today's theme about Earth Day. With this time I've had time to reflect on the world. I think about all the changes we need to make and what these few weeks of quarantine have already proved. I feel like it's proven that we can live in a pretty virtual world. We do not need to drive to every meeting, fly to every conference, and always have every gathering in person. I think human connection is very important. I would never suggest that we should not interact in person ever again. That's ridiculous. However, I do think that our constant use of travel is polluting our Earth at a very fast rate, and we could slow that down by not traveling everywhere. The air has already been cleaner since this all started. There's so many environmental changes that are happening after only a few weeks of quarantine. Not traveling would also be better for productivity. Less time spent commuting and more working. Some jobs can be done from home half the time. We do not need to be running the heating and the cooling systems at our offices all the time. We could shut down half the week and save on electricity. We have a chance to learn from this. We can make realistic changes that would benefit not only the Earth, but also ourselves. We would have more time to be with our families, do what we love, and make a happier and healthier society. This, of course, is an opinion of a team, but I think youth voices are so important here because we have to live with the Earth longer. So save it for us, our children, and all generations to come. We now turn to the offering. While many things are different while we're physically apart, it is important to us that we continue supporting our community through Share the Plate donations. This is particularly important when their important work continues, and yet donations are significantly impacted during this time. Today for Earth Day, our Share the Plate partner is the Sunrise Movement. Today, your donation will go 100% to the Sunrise Movement, unless you designate it that it is for your annual pledge. You can donate by texting UUCP to 73256, or you can go to the Give tab of the website and enter a gift under the Share the Plate category, or you can mail a check to UUCP with Share the Plate or Sunrise Movement in the memo. The Sunrise Movement is a national youth-led movement dedicated to climate justice. They are gathering in our cities, states, and nation, educating and building a movement of people to force civic and business leaders to make the changes that need to be made to keep our world livable for this and future generations. The Phoenix Hub of Sunrise started in the spring of 2019 and has been growing and taking action ever since. In Phoenix, the Sunrise Movement is working on some specific goals to keep our desert city alive. They strike to demand regulations and enforcement that conserves our water and keeps it clean enough to drink. The most impacted are the poor areas of our cities and the indigenous people. Right now, the federal government is seeking to transfer the sacred Apache grounds of Oak Flat to a foreign mining firm with plans to use explosives, drain, and sell the water, which is an immediate threat to climate justice. They talk to our elected officials and show them they have a responsibility to act to implement climate justice. They hold trainings and workshops to educate people on climate justice and show them why and how to organize. and they stage public demonstrations to raise awareness of the crisis and call people off the sidelines and get out into the street to demand climate justice. You can follow the Sunrise Movement on their Facebook, the name is in the chat, or visit sunrisemovement.org. If you want to find out more about Oak Flat, you can go to apache-stronghold.com. And also, please go to Compass to see the link for where the Sunrise Movement will be having a Zoom chat to learn more about them. And during this time, when we are redefining what this congregation means and how we do community together, we thank you for continuing to give to our community.
So it is now the time when we get to share the joys and sorrows of our community. Being together, it is good to share, to support each other, and to connect. I want to invite any of you to send a chat message to the panelists or to me specifically with any joys that you might have. It can be anything, what you may be seeing in the world that brings you joy. If you want it to be private to me only and not to be shared, please put the word private at the beginning, and I won't say it out loud, but I will hold it in my heart. So I will share one of mine in the meantime. My niece Erin, and I don't know if she's watching right now, but she's graduating from high school and she's decided to go to Tulane University. And she is celebrating, her family just got a pandemic puppy yesterday, who is so cute. And we all need more puppy love right now. So Melinda says that our whole family is excited to celebrate Sarah's 14th birthday on Saturday. Happy birthday, Sarah. Anne says, my daughter Jen qualified to run the Boston Marathon. So this morning she ran her own marathon in 3:46. Wow. All right. And Valina says, a joy is that the Christmas lights are on in the evening in my neighborhood. Ours too. Isn't it great? Between that and the chalk art, it's actually great. So Debbie says that the Car Taylors are so happy that their college daughter is home safely and well. And that's terrific. Mary McManus says, the perks of online school. My teachers are much more forgiving with due dates, which helps immensely when motivation is low. Yay for all of our teachers and students that are doing online learning. Beth Graham says, today is my birthday. I love the earth and Blue Boat Home and Morning Has Broken are my favorite songs, so feeling grateful. Happy birthday, Beth. Victoria says, happy Orthodox Easter to all those who follow that tradition. And I know that that's something that happens in your family, Victoria. And from the Lifshitz family, Dylan is an Arizona State Senate representative for National Speech and Debate Tournament in June. Wow, that sounds awesome. I hope that's live streamed. Trudy says that there's a story in the Washington Post about a 99-year-old British World War II veteran who raised $23 million to support the National Health Service by walking back and forth across his garden 82 times. That's awesome. Laurel Hardin says that a joy is that a hip problem that she's been dealing with via physical therapy has helped greatly by bicycling, and she's been doing a lot of that. So, and Ed Cernak says, our grandson Blake has begun talking. What a fabulous thing to enjoy during this time. How wonderful. Now, there may be possibilities that we have sorrows in our community as well. I invite you to write any sorrows that you may have in that. And I'm going to share a couple more joys because they're still coming in. Sam Kirkland says, Joy Shannon, our youngest, will be sheltering with us here in Phoenix from Detroit. How wonderful. And McCall says that Lobo the dog is getting really good at the agility course. Mary McManus says, another one that everyone will be able to view my research presentation this summer since it will be live. Give us the link, Mary. I want to remind you in this time of sorrows that you can connect to each other through our neighborhood connection groups. If you need help or you can offer help, please email uucphelplist@gmail.com. If you are experiencing symptoms, please reach out to me. And same if you've lost your job, gotten furloughed, or had your hours significantly cut. I'd like to be able to support you where we can. So, seeing if we've got any other sorrows to share. I think there was one up above. Just looking up there. Yeah, we did have somebody in the congregation who got, in fact, I know there's 2 people that got furloughed this week. So I'm sending lots of love to them. Yeah, and John Williamson says that daughter Marianne was laid off from her job and is coping with that. Thank you for letting us know, John. Merrick McManus says that a sorrow that her summer internship did get moved digitally. A big bummer since I was looking forward to going to Santa Barbara this summer. And and thank you for the laugh, McCall. McCall says, my hot chocolate is still too hot to drink. And that is a sorrow. It's big ones and little ones here. So we hold all of those in our hearts. We know that there are far more. There is anxiety and worry and sadness in our hearts. So we hold all of that with us. I invite you to a time with this for a time of meditation and prayer. I invite you to center yourselves and put your feet on the floor if you wish to settle in place. And I'm going to bring out my magic breathing ball. Some of you might have seen this. And it's basically just a simple tool to tell us when to breathe, when to breathe in, breathe out. So as it expands, take a deep breath in. As it contracts, breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And I invite you to keep breathing while I share a meditation this morning called Bring Us Closer to Earth from Lynn Cox. Spirit of life, ground of our being, root of unified mystery, growing into myriad branches of expression. Bring us together now. Bring us close to the earth, ear to the whispering grass, quietly, attentively, waiting with slow breaths listening for the very stones to cry out with their rocky stories of tectonic plates meeting and parting, meeting their mineral memories of Hadean days, molten rocks flowing and joining their ancient legends of stars born out of the collapse of other stars. Help us to remember. Help us to piece together our oneness with matter, our oneness that matters. With one more deep breath, may we rise, star stuff, rolling and walking across the surface of an impossible blue-green planet. May we join together to heal what is divided. May we find wholeness within, without, among, between. Eternal source, seed of the universe. Help us to grow peace. So be it. Blessed be. Amen. And I'm going to invite you to just keep breathing. Amen. Blessed be. For our centering music this morning, we are grateful to have our own wonderful, fabulous resistors with the song Less, perfect for our 2020 Earth Day reflection.
Less is less, it isn't nothing, somehow we'll recover. Every tiny pinch it in, we'll help out one another. And before we know it, the garden will be growing, a new breeze will be blowing. Less is more than many other people out there working. It's not hard to lend a hand to somebody who's hurting. Do not play the
fabulous to hear your voices. Our reading today is called Imagine by UU minister Lynn Unger. Some of you might remember that name. She wrote The Pandemic that was so popular at the beginning of all of this. Imagine with me for a moment. Don't worry, I'm not saying it's real. Imagine, if you can, that there has been not a calamity, but a great awakening. Pretend just for a moment that we all so loved our threatened Earth that we stopped going on cruises, limited international flights, worked on cherishing the places where we already are. In this pretty fantasy, everyone who possibly can stops commuting, spends the extra time with their kids or pets or garden. We have the revelation that everyone needs health care, sick leave, steady work. It occurs to us that healthcare workers are heroes, also teachers, not to mention the artists of all kinds who teach us resilience and joy. Imagine, if you will, that we turned to our neighbors in mutual aid, trading eggs for milk, checking on those who are elderly or alone. Imagine that each of us felt suddenly called to wonder, in this moment, what does the world need from me? What are my gifts? Yes, I know, it's just a fantasy. The world could never change so radically overnight. But imagine. We also have special music today by Dave Balama, who is got a remake of a great Pete Seeger song, Solartopia. Please feel free to sing along.
Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world. Was there an Adam, was there an Eve, or did we evolve from what we conceived? Either way, we got what we needed when the sun shone down on the Garden of Eden. Oh, don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world. We bit into the apple and the garden was lost, and so we had to work to pay the cost. So we went digging down into the ground and we started to burn the many things we found. But don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world. Well, we multiplied and we needed more. The rich got rich and the poor got sore. The fuel ran scarce and the price jumped high, and so we gave nuclear power a try. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world. But the nuclear plants were all built in haste with too many risks and no place for waste. And so from Seabrook to Shoreham town, we had to shut those nuke plants down. Oh, don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia, Solartopia, Solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a Solartopia all over God's green world. Now we're fighting wars over oil and gas. No matter who wins, it will not last. The earth is scarred, the planet is warming. Don't you think that all of it's a great big warning? No, don't you know we're gonna have a our houses and cars from the mic that's away up in the stars. It's a gift to share that's always been given. It falls down to earth like the rain from heaven. Oh, don't you know we're gonna have a solartopia, solartopia, solartopia. Don't you know we're gonna have a solartopia all over God's green world? Don't you know we're gonna have a solartopia, solartopia, solartopia? Don't you know we're gonna have a solartopia all over God's green world?
Thanks, Dave. So this week, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. It was first celebrated on April 22nd, 1970, as a day to honor the Earth and to participate in environmental teach-ins. 1970. That was the day where we actually created a specific day to start publicizing the critical state of our environment. And the environmental movement has grown in this country, and yet the challenges to our environment continue to get worse. I'm going to get right to the headline of this sermon. After this pandemic, we have no right to say that we can't fix our environment. No right. They say it will be too expensive and will affect our economy. Yep. So? They say it will be too hard to change the technology and we can't change our reality that quickly? Really? Tell me about that. They say people won't be able to sacrifice for the greater good. What's that you say? No, really, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that we can't change the environment or that it is too hard. Honestly, after being through this for just a month, I am convinced we can do hard things, and we need to. I mean, really, there's a lot of similarities here. Both the virus and climate change have the potential to kill millions if they go unchecked. Both the virus and climate change know no boundaries, no definitions of countries. Both the virus and climate change will affect the most vulnerable most seriously, making those who are already marginalized even more so. And both of them are going to require serious sacrifice, government involvement, policies, and collective involvement. I, like many of you, have been seeing the dramatic changes that have been happening in our environment since the world has been quarantined, and I look to them for hope. I hear about the clear skies in China and how children are seeing stars for the first time, and how the birds are louder, and that we don't now hear as many planes over here in Phoenix, and that our oceans are cleaner, and that there are porpoises swimming in the canals of Venice. No, wait, that wasn't true. That was just Photoshop, but it was a cool idea for a while. But even with just a few weeks break, our environment is taking a deep breath and showing us how it can heal itself. In China, there is real data to support the breath that the Earth got to take. The nitrogen dioxide levels that come from the burning of fossil fuels there decreased 40% over their month of quarantine. And to be clear, the air pollution there is a deadly disease. It causes an estimated 1.1 million deaths per year, and it costs the Chinese economy $38 billion each year. They didn't think that they could stop that, but they did slow it down over several months. In Los Angeles, for the entire month of March, the air quality index was green or acceptable for the entire month. The last time that there's data of that happening for such a long time was in 1980. But here's the thing. We want desperately to see this as a sign of hope, that we've got this silver lining. And those of you who have been paying attention know how I feel about silver linings out of this. And it can be, but it can only be if we sustain it. We can't pretend that, oh, we've got this pandemic and we're going to get Earth environmental change on the side. We can't believe that this is done and we can give that a check mark. All we can do is believe it is possible. The Earth has gotten a breath, but it needs more than one breath. The nitrogen dioxide levels in China are already heading back to their pre-corona levels. And I have no doubt that the smog in LA will return as well. The better environment is not a silver lining of corona. Fossil fuels need to be reduced by over 10% for at least a year to make a difference. And we need to return land back to nature to heal the wounds that we humans have inflicted. We need to consume less. And actually, there are a lot of signs that between healthcare disposal and food and packaging goods and shipping, there are signs that consumption is the same or higher during this corona time. We are making collective choices right now because lives are on the line within the next few weeks and months, potentially many months. But lives have already been on the line due to the environmental changes. From fires ravaging communities to massive drought to more intense hurricanes to stronger storms, lives are on the line more and more every single day due to climate change. We need to make the same sacrifices, have our government do the same hard emergency work, and have substantial change in order to turn this ship around. The environment, just like the coronavirus, is going to depend on humans putting our collective well-being over our individual well-being. John Robbins says, humans are part of the web of life. What we do to the planet, what we do to other species, and what we do to other people, we end up doing to ourselves. And this all fits with our seventh principle, which is the interconnected web of which we are all part. We are all connected. My actions impact yours, and yours impact me, and we all impact the earth. This was a principle that was created for the environmental movement as a result of the environmental movement. And I think many of us have been congratulating ourselves as a group of humanity, thinking that we've done that collective work well. This week, we're seeing that some people don't like that trade-off of collective work. With protesters gathering in groups in downtown Phoenix, they're doing it tomorrow, with their Don't Tread on Me flags and their demand to have their independence restored, they are unequivocally stating that their own individual rights are more important than the collective good. Our president, who has done irreparable harm, is exacerbating it by tweeting "Liberate Michigan" and "Liberate Minnesota" in support of those who are choosing this individual focus and downright greed. Let me be clear on where I stand on this. I want to put the collective good over the individual desire. I think we always need to work together to do hard things. I think that those who are most marginalized are always more negatively impacted by environmental change and viruses. I believe that we need to fight for those who are more impacted, even if that means giving something up for ourselves. And I believe that communities working together can do amazing things, whether neighborhoods, cities, states, country, or the world. And I want to be very clear that those people protesting, there's dozens of them, but there are millions of us who are staying home and working for the collective good. Millions. And we can do hard things. I don't want to ever again hear that we can't do this. We have the resources, and we can change legislature and regulations, and we can galvanize people, and the earth can heal. We have seen its resiliency. We can turn this around. The environment is just one more thing that I think can't go back to normal. I have hope that we can look at these bigger issues with more conviction going forward. And we must make changes. We must.
Let's close with Pat Humphrey's anthem about moving forward. Feel free to sing with me. We're gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. And we're gonna do the work together. We're gonna do the work together. Do the work together. Do the work together. Never turning back. Never turning back. And we're gonna keep each other healthy. We're gonna keep each other healthy. Keep each other healthy. Gonna keep each other healthy. Never turning back. Never turning back. Keep on moving forward, everyone. We're gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Benji. Before closing words, I'd like to invite you to coffee hour after the service. We're going to be going to a different Zoom room where we'll be able to meet as a large group to say hi, and then we're going to go into small breakout rooms. We really hope we are this week for a little bit more conversation. We'll put the number in the chat, and it will be on the final slide. You can do what I did last week, which is I just took a picture of it on my camera, and then I went into Zoom, a different room. Also, I want to remind you that the Sunrise Movement is having a video chat at 12:30. It is a different Zoom number than we had later. Amy just put it in the moderator chat, so please take a picture of that as well. That will be happening at 12:30. So, and as always, from the beginning of all this, I'm going to ask you at the end of the service to reach out and connect with each other. See if you can reach out and say hi to 4 different people. Stay in community. Remind each other that we are not alone in this. So be kind to the earth. Be committed to the earth. And may our earth ground us and give us comfort in this stressful time. And may we return that favor. Go in peace, go in love, go in safety, and wrapped in the love of this community.